And our album was doper, but we were saying it New York slick. Like we had some slick talk coming out our mouth.
Right.
Hammer thought we were talking about us his mom.
Like a lot of people back then, Suge Knight once brushed MC Hammer off as just another flashy rapper in parachute pants, someone easy to press and push around. That illusion didn't last long at all. Suge quickly learned that Hammer wasn't just dancing on stage. There was a whole different side moving in the shadows, and it was way more serious than anyone expected. According to MC Search himself, this was the same MC Hammer who allegedly put a hit out on the group Third Base.
So basically he came with Hammer like, hey man, in this LA and everything, man, and things can happen, you know what I'm saying? You to holler at me, man, you know what I'm saying? Holler at me for protection. Hammer said, protection for what? See, man, I got 12 bodyguards out here.
A move that completely flipped the narrative around him. One minute people laughed, the next minute they were looking over their shoulders. As Hammer once put it, man, I got 12 bodyguards out here. And that wasn't talk for show. Lamar L.B. Lubin later confirmed Hammer wasn't playing games and was a bona fide street figure, not just a pop rap star. Things got even deeper in 1994 when Hammer dropped The Funky Headhunter, an album that shocked a lot of critics and fans alike. The sound was darker, harder, and way more aggressive, showing a side of Hammer that didn't fit the cartoon image people had in their heads. Riding that momentum, Hammer made a jaw-dropping move in 1995 and signed with Death Row Records, locking in with some of the biggest names in the game at the time. One standout track from that era was Too Late Playa, featuring Big Daddy Kane and Danny Boy, which only added to the growing feeling that Hammer had stepped fully into a new lane. If you look back at old footage, you'll catch Hammer and Suge hanging around together. But what stood out to everyone was how tense Suge looked whenever Hammer was nearby. That alone had people talking. So how did a guy known for flashy moves and radio hits end up intimidating someone like Suge Knight? Simple. Hammer had real connections, real respect, and a crew that didn't joke around. And Suge wasn't the only one who learned that lesson the hard way. During Hammer's peak, plenty of people underestimated him and paid for it with fear, silence, or both.
He's like, do you go with Suge? He's like, well, he's a gangster. You don't want to get killed. Do you go with Easy? You hear all the stuff talking about, oh, he was taking the money. So we thought, oh, we'll go with the church boy. We'll go with MC Hammer, but he was the most gangster one of all.
The real tension exploded when Hammer dissed Run DMC, and Third Base decided to jump in heavy. On their song, The Cactus, they crossed a serious line, throwing shots at Hammer's mother. The lyric, The Cactus Turned Hammer's Mother Out, was a slick double meaning, tying their 1989 album to Hammer's own hit from that year. But nobody in Hammer's camp found it clever or funny. That bar hit close to home, especially for Hammer's brother Louis Burrell. And things got real fast. In a 2015 interview, MC Search revealed just how tense it became, saying that while flying into Los Angeles, the situation felt dangerous, charged, and way beyond music.
What's up, Tupac? What's up? What's up, man? What's up, Hammer? All right. Come on, son.
Def Jam president Carmen Ashurst Watson got a phone call that instantly sent chills through the building. A calm but heavy voice on the other end asked, "Is Third Base on their way to LA?" When she confirmed they were, the caller identified himself as Louis Burrell and simply said, "Good." That one word landed like a threat hanging in the air. According to MC Search, that call wasn't just tough talk meant to scare people. He later claimed that fellow Def Jam artist Eric B. warned him there was allegedly a $50,000 hit on Third Base, supposedly involving Los Angeles Crips.
Definitely doing that.
Hammer, you feeling home?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, then she'll go back 10 years, so, it's another day.
At that point, things had officially crossed out of music beef territory and into real-life danger. To stop the situation from exploding, Def Jam co-founder Russell Simmons stepped in fast. He arranged for Barefoot Boogie, a respected and well-known figure in the hip-hop world, to act as security for Third Base during their stay in L.A.
Saying our album was doper, but we were saying it New York slick. Like we had some slick talk coming out our mouth.
Right.
Hammer thought we were talking about us his mom.
Even with Boogie close by, the tension never dropped for a second. One day, Search and his girlfriend went to a mall while Boogie stayed alert nearby. Everything felt calm at first. Fans showed love, autographs were signed, then a group of Crips walked in. While Search was distracted, the energy shifted fast, but Boogie stepped up and shut things down before it turned into chaos. Instead of taking that moment as a warning to cool off, Search poured gasoline on the situation the very next day. While live on the radio, he publicly disrespected MC Hammer and accused him of hiding behind other people. That move instantly raised the stakes and made everything feel way more dangerous.
And here's somebody say, is Third Base on their way to LA? And she goes, yeah. And the voice says, good, they're dead. This is Louis Burrell.
Right after the broadcast, a shaken third base rushed out, jumped into their car, and headed straight back to the hotel. That's when they noticed a car full of Crips following them closely, making it clear this wasn't a joke or a bluff. At one point, guns were pointed in their direction, sending a loud and unmistakable message.
And Eric B. basically puts a feeler out and finds out it's true, that there's a hit out on third base with the Crip.
Somehow, Search and his crew made it back safely, but fear took over the rest of their press run. They wore disguises, avoided public spots, and moved like shadows until they could leave the city. Years later, Search admitted that experience stayed with him. The whole situation sparked heavy rumors that MC Hammer might have had Crip connections, especially since the threats were allegedly tied to people close to him. Still, Hammer never claimed any gang ties in his life. In fact, there's even a story about Hammer checking a Crip directly, shared later by Benito, one of Hammer's vocalists, who recalled an incident after an event in Los Angeles. Hammer and his crew were loading up the vans, ready to head back to the hotel, when a familiar face suddenly rolled up. It was Michael Concepcion, known as one of the original founders of the Crips, and his presence instantly shifted the energy. Michael pulled Hammer aside and said they needed to talk. No small talk, no smiles. Michael straight up told Hammer he was offering him protection while he was in LA, warning him that the city could flip at any moment and anything could happen.
It's this dude in his wheelchair and about 4 or 5 dudes with him, hanging out. I know they Crips because my cousins all Crips in LA. So I'm like, that's some gangbangers. What they doing out here?
Hammer wasn't expecting that at all. He looked at Michael confused and asked why he'd need protection when he already had his own squad holding things down. Hammer made it clear he had 12 bodyguards with him, and these weren't just rent-a-cops or mall security types. These were serious dudes, real muscle, and Hammer didn't feel like he needed anyone else stepping in. He told Michael flat out, I don't need no protection, and he meant every word. Michael didn't like that answer and kept pressing, telling Hammer to watch his back anyway. That's when Hammer checked him calmly but firmly, making it clear that one phone call from him could shut the whole situation down instantly. And this wasn't bravado. Hammer knew exactly who he was and what pull he had. By the very next morning, Michael came back, not to argue, but to apologize. That alone spoke volumes about the level of respect Hammer commanded in the streets at the height of his power. At his peak, MC Hammer was everywhere. TV shows, music videos, commercials, movies, even cartoons. His face was nonstop. His albums launched him into full-blown hip-hop superstardom, and from the outside, it looked like he was living a flawless, untouchable life under bright lights.
Hey, I want to holler at you for a minute, Hammer. Now, the thing is, Mike already knew who Hammer was because they did the video. We were on the same gang before. So basically, he came at Hammer like, hey man, in this LA and everything, man, and things can happen, you know what I'm saying? You to holler at me, man, you know what I'm saying? Holler at me for protection.
But fame comes with pressure. While millions loved Hammer, the criticism was just as loud. Media outlets fanned shots at him nonstop. His clean image, choreographed dances, and those famous parachute pants made him look different. And in hip-hop, different can make you a target. That target got even bigger in 1991 when Ice Cube dropped the video for True to the Game. The visual stirred controversy fast. One scene showed a hardcore rapper switching into a flashy red sequined outfit, symbolizing a sellout jumping from the streets into pop culture. And everybody knew exactly who that was aimed at. Hammer wasn't about to let that slide at all. One day, while he was cooling out in his hotel room, a call came through saying Ice Cube had just been spotted at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Hollywood. Hammer didn't hesitate for a second. He grabbed his crew, piled into the cars, and headed straight over there with purpose. They caught Ice Cube just as he was walking out.
I was like, protection for what? See, man, I got 12 bodyguards out here. And for 5 of them straight killers. You know what I'm saying? So, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know.
And Hammer reportedly checked him face to face, making it crystal clear that pulling a move like that again would not fly. Ice Cube instantly understood the position he was in and reportedly responded with a respectful, "No, sir, that won't happen again." The message landed loud and clear. Ice Cube wasn't the only one who felt that pressure. In 1992, Redman dropped an intro skit on his album, What? The album featuring a character throwing disrespect toward Hammer and his family, including his mother. Hammer took that personally and decided Redman needed to hear from him directly. Redman later admitted the situation got real fast. "We barely made it out," he said, explaining how things almost boxed them in and felt dangerous in a serious way. Years later, in 1995, both Hammer and Redman crossed paths again on the set of the final episode of Yo MTV Raps. That's when Hammer calmly but firmly pulled Redman aside. Hammer told him straight up, "Red, I'm going to tell you something. You are young, but I don't allow nobody to talk about my mama." There was no yelling, no chaos.
You need to holler at me, man. If you don't, something could happen to you, whatever. He said, "What you trying to say?" He said, you need to go ahead and, take care of that and everything will be cool. He said, "Nigga, you trying to start strangle on?"
Just a clear boundary being set. Redmond, fully aware of Hammer's reputation by then, immediately responded with respect, saying, "Message." Redmond later said in a 2016 interview, he admitted he'd heard the stories, seen how Hammer moved, and decided it was smarter to keep things respectful. "I'm good, my brother," he said, making it clear there was no bad blood after that. Even West Coast legends spoke highly of Hammer. In a 2018 interview, Too Short described Hammer as a real heavyweight, saying he was a big dog with real street respect. Too Short emphasized that Hammer came from a respected crew, handled business, and that him, his brother Louie, and their circle were solid. When asked about the alleged hit tied to MC Search, Too Short said the only part he didn't believe was the price tag. According to him, Hammer wouldn't need to pay anyone. His reputation alone carried weight. Hammer's presence went beyond music, too. In a 2020 conversation with E40 on All Urban Central, Fat Joe recalled running into Hammer at the Las Vegas airport.
Our people looking like, "Yeah, I'm waiting for you to move." Hammer, hey, what's up? He said, "Hey, man, it's like this. I'll make one phone call and all this will go away." And Hammer said, "What's up, man?" He said, "Man, I apologize for the thing. I didn't know, the people you knew and whatever, this and that. And I apologize for what I did, brother. It's all good. We cool. We good." And Hammer's like, yeah, it's all right.
Describing an energy that instantly commanded respect the moment Hammer walked in the room. Joe said Hammer greeted him with real warmth, real respect. But at the same time, he made it clear he wasn't somebody to test. He was like, "I get it poppin' for real," Joe remembered, and the tone said everything. There was no confusion, no mixed signals. Hammer was cool, but he was solid too. E40 wasn't surprised one bit. "He's from Oakland," E40 explained. "He's from the town. He's highly respected, highly connected. All the real fixtures know him, and he knows them." According to 40, Hammer wasn't just famous. He was plugged in, heavy in the streets, and well known by the people who really mattered. And let's clear something up. Hammer was far from soft. He wasn't just about music videos and choreography. Physically fit, confident, and ready to stand on business if needed, Hammer had hands and wasn't scared to use them. Add that to his dangerous connections, and it's easy to see why people moved carefully around him.
Are you a rapper or not?
Well, in one unescapable aspect, yes, and that is the fact that I don't sing. But in every other aspect, the answer is no, I'm not a rapper. I entertain. I say that in not meaning any disrespect to other rappers or other rap artists.
One major reason Hammer carried that kind of weight was his family's connection to Felix Mitchell, one of Oakland's most notorious figures. Mitchell ran the infamous 69 Mob, a powerful criminal organization that dominated the city's substances trade at its peak. At one point, Mitchell was reportedly pulling in over $1 million a month, controlling large sections of Oakland, including the very neighborhood Hammer grew up in. Even after the FBI dismantled Mitchell's operation in 1985, the damage and the influence had already been done. Hammer and his brothers had spent their formative years surrounded by some of the most feared and respected figures in Oakland. So while Hammer's public image looked clean and commercial, behind the scenes his roots were deeply tied to the streets. Still, Hammer's childhood wasn't easy or glamorous. Born Stanley Kirk Burrell on March 30th, 1962 in Oakland, California, he was the youngest of 8 kids in a family that struggled to survive. His father worked as a professional poker player and casino manager, while his mother held things down as a secretary, but money was always tight. When his parents separated, Stanley and his siblings moved with their mother into a cramped 3-bedroom apartment in East Oakland's housing projects. He shared a single room with 5 siblings, and the pressure of that environment was impossible to ignore. As a kid, Stanley spent time in Oakland parking lots with friends, making their own fun by dancing to beatbox rhythms and street sounds. They even hustled selling baseballs for $2 just to get by. He loved writing poetry, studied James Brown's moves nonstop and beyond the concrete and chaos around him. At just 11 years old, one random moment flipped Stanley Burrell's life upside down. While doing the splits in the Oakland Coliseum parking lot, his energy caught the eye of Charlie Finley, the outspoken owner of the Oakland A's. Finley was impressed by the kid's confidence and spark and decided to put him to work right on the spot. Hammer didn't officially hold the Bat Boy title. That role belonged to his brother, Louie Burrell Jr., but Stanley was right there alongside him, answering phones, handling small tasks, and even giving Finley live play-by-play commentary during games. That exposure put him right in the middle of professional sports at a young age. It was during those years with the A's that Stanley picked up the nickname Hammer. Players joked that he reminded them of baseball legend Hank "Hammer" and Aaron, and the name stuck like glue. Around the same time, he discovered his love for entertaining, earning the title Master of Ceremonies, or MC, while performing during team visits and travel stops. After graduating from McClymonds High School in 1980, Hammer took communication classes and chased his dream of becoming a professional baseball player. That dream hit a wall when he failed to make the cut at a San Francisco Giants tryout, and the setback hit him hard. Back in East Oakland, the pressure was real. He watched friends turn to the streets for fast money, and for a brief moment, he thought about following that path. But something inside him said he was meant for more, and that choice changed everything. Instead of heading down the wrong road, Hammer enlisted in the U.S. Navy. He served 3 years as a petty officer and aviation storekeeper, learning discipline, structure, and focus that would later shape his career. After an honorable discharge, his passion for music and faith reignited. He helped form a Christian rap group called the Holy Ghost Boys with singer John Gibson and gospel artist Tremaine Hawkins. They performed at venues like the Beverly Theater in Beverly Hills, but the group never fully broke through and eventually split. Still hungry, Hammer went solo in 1986. He took a huge leap of faith, borrowing $20,000 from Oakland A's players Dwayne Murphy and Mike Davis to launch his own label, Busted Records. With that money, he built his squad: DJ Kent Wilson, mixer Kevin Wilson, 2 Big MC, and a dance trio called Oakland's 357, made up of Sweet LD, Terrible T, and Little P. And the movement was officially born. Hammer was never playing when it came to his craft, not even for a second. He went all in, locking himself into brutal rehearsal sessions and running his crew with the same discipline he learned in the Navy. As Hammer later explained, we have to keep our organization disciplined because we have goals, and in order to achieve those goals, we have to be disciplined. That mindset became the foundation of everything he built. That same year, Hammer recorded his first single, Ring 'Em, and his debut album, Feel My Power, with help from Felton Pilot, a respected musician and producer from the funk band Confronting. Hammer and his wife Stephanie weren't waiting on handouts either. They worked non-stop, pushing records to local DJs and selling tapes straight out of their car trunk like real hustlers. The grind paid off big time. Ring 'Em blew up in Bay Area dance clubs, and Feel My Power moved around 60,000 copies independently, which was huge at the time. That street-level success turned heads fast, and in 1988, Hammer landed a massive $10 million deal with Capitol Records, including a $1.75 million advance. Instead of blowing the money, Hammer reinvested $750,000 back into Busted Records and went right back to work. That same year, he reissued Feel My Power with extra tracks, pushing total sales past 2 million copies and proving this wasn't luck, it was strategy. Then came Let's Get It Started in September 1988, packed with tracks like Pump It Up and Turn This Mother Out. The album hit hard and locked Hammer in as a rising force in hip-hop, no debate. But 1990 changed everything. Hammer dropped Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em, featuring the unstoppable anthem, You Can't Touch This. The album exploded worldwide, selling an insane 22 million copies and turning Hammer into a global superstar overnight. Even with his street roots and tough reputation, Hammer never pushed that life in his music. He focused on motivation, positivity, and showing young people they could dream bigger and aim higher, no matter where they came from. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to comment your thoughts, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this story, and I'll see you on the next one.